Ubuntu my foot, man. Neglecting your kids and feeding the neighbors is not Ubuntu. That's stupidity. And one thing that I've realized about this Operation Ubuntu and whatever that they're doing, first of all, they look funded. I think we can all agree when we look at all those banners and all these things. They can complain about much and sticks, but Bona, they look like a whole funded operation. And you can see that this is, no offense to Islam, but these are Muslims trying to protect their brothers, because there are so many Muslims, or there's a lot of Muslims in South Africa who are illegal. I just want to say heads up to Jacinta and her organization. We're fully behind you. Yes, people are going to toy and say whatever that they're saying about Ubuntu, even though they don't even know the core definition of Ubuntu itself. You know, Ubuntu is what? It's watching your fellow countrymen starve and not have jobs while jobs are occupied by foreigners who are not even legal. What is that Ubuntu? You cannot tell me that I should look at my country, go through all these things that it's going through, and just keep quiet because Ubuntu. No, that's not gonna happen. If South Africa is gonna go on the way it's going on now, we're definitely gonna have to sometimes forget about Ubuntu and face the problem head on. There are times when you are being invaded where you're not gonna have to be thinking about Ubuntu. You're gonna have to be thinking about protecting your kids and your kids' futures. If things go on the way South Africa is going on right now, in 10-20 years time, our kids will look at us and ask, what did you do to prevent this? We know about neighborhoods that are being taken over by foreigners. There are neighborhoods that you cannot go to. In Cape Town, there's a neighborhood that you cannot go to that neighborhood when you're South African. It's Pakistanis, it's Ethiopians, it's Somalis. These groups, they come here and they group themselves, and they maybe buy buildings around a certain neighborhood, and then now they don't want you to be in there if you are not part of them. So South Africans need to also think about preserving their own cultures. I saw a video of an American, I think it's an American congressman, who was saying, you know, the Western society has a right to preserve their own cultures, their own identities from these invasions. We're facing an invasion in South Africa.
Let's talk about xenophobia in South Africa right now.
I personally think that the reason why a lot of white South Africans don't understand the March and March movement is because they, like you, are coming from a place of privilege in means of being middle to upper and higher class. And the reason why I say this is because a lot of illegal immigrants, a lot of illegal foreigners that have no paperwork, and that is what the March and March movement is about at the end of the day. It's not about documented foreigners that have papers, that have their work permits, their working visas, visas to stay in South Africa, whether they are married to another South African. We are not talking about that at all. What a lot of people neglect to actually understand is that when we as South Africans go to other countries, we are forced to have all of our paperwork in line, all of our work permits in line, to make sure that we can actually enter into other countries and do that legally as well. And that is all that we ask. Everyone else does within our South African borders too. The March and March movement happened because so many of our Black South Africans started getting sick of our healthcare being full of illegal foreigners and being helped. Just imagine, have you ever been put in a situation where your child was sick with a flu and your child had such a high fever to the point of them passing out, and you had to rush your child to a government hospital, and that government hospital would rather help an undocumented foreigner instead of your registered South African child? Imagine trying to place your South African-born child into a schooling system where there is absolutely no place whatsoever, because illegal foreign children are taking the places of South African children in our education system. Imagine trying to apply for jobs for months and months and sometimes years and not hear anything back, even with education, for that position to be given to an unregistered illegal foreigner that isn't even a South African. I live close to one of the biggest townships that we have in Joburg, and that's Tembisa. I don't know if majority white people have actually thought about where these illegal, undocumented foreigners actually stay. They live in the townships, in the midst of our South African people, putting their children at risk, putting their lives at risk. Because at the end of the day, if there's an undocumented foreigner, there's no fingerprints. Crime is at its peak. So no, the March on March movement is not about xenophobia. The March on March movement is not about violence at all. It was actually very peaceful, very, very peaceful. The March on March movement is about South Africans claiming South Africa back, just like any other country. And I also have this question as well. Why, when foreigners are kicked out of other countries, then it's called riots, like what's going on in Ireland now? Nigerians are being kicked out, and that is called riots. But when it comes to South Africans, then all of a sudden it is labeled xenophobia. Fact of the matter is, so many people don't understand the March on March movement because they will never see the points being made and the issues coming from people living on or below the poverty line because it doesn't affect them. It might actually help to go and look at videos and search up videos and crawl into the comments and read the discussions between our South African people and the issues that they are majorly more so than us white people are sitting with in this country, because at the end of the day, we are more privileged because we are only 7% of the population. And at some point in time, that's going to catch up with us as well. And the reason why I'm speaking out about it is because we need to all stand together in supporting one another when it comes to causes like this, because we need each other in the future.
Operation Ubuntu. A civil organization, civil movements came together to fight against xenophobia, Afrophobia. They say people were forcefully removed, and it's a forceful removal from the country of 160,000. It's not a voluntary repatriation. This is something that was said by our coordinator, General Moyo. Yeah, okay, we understand that. What I'm saying, who came up with who said, you know, we're gonna call it Operation Ubuntu? Hello, Ubuntu is not a movement. Ubuntu is a principle. Ubuntu is not something that is spoken. Ubuntu is something that is done. So you can't call your movement Ubuntu because you do Ubuntu. You don't speak Ubuntu. You just say, hi, let me show you Ubuntu. That means you don't understand what Ubuntu is. Ubuntu. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Ubuntu, what is